Happy New Year, folks! Let's hope that the new year brings some exciting football, and whichever team you support, you get to enjoy their performances every now and then. And on that note, let's make sure that the Goalside family continues to get bigger and bigger. Romelu Lukaku can sometimes be quite a divisive figure, and his latest statements are not going to endear him to the Chelsea fans, let alone his manager. Returning to Chelsea this summer, the Belgian is not at all an indisputable starter under Thomas Tuchel, and this situation does not suit him, as he also has left the door open for a return to Inter at the peak of his powers. Suddenly, the English or Italian media has started talking, and everyone was waiting for the response from the former Paris Saint-Germain manager, who responded at a pre-match press conference ahead of a crunch league encounter against Liverpool on Sunday. Lukaku's statements don't make for good reading at all, and we need to discuss the issue in detail. Jorge Sampaoli has done well for himself at Marseille, but the Argentine tactician knows what he needs to do in the January transfer window. Ousmane Dembele is not going to extend his deal at Barcelona, and the Frenchman is going to be a man in demand this month. Fiorentina have finalised the signing of a player who is going to help the club push for a place in Europe next season. AS Monaco are set to part ways with Niko Kovac in a decision that surprised us a little bit, but hey, that's football. Before we get started, we want to share the sponsor of today's video. The OneFootball app is the ultimate football platform and is a must-have for every football fan, so that you can follow all of your favourite leagues, teams and players all the time right from your phone. You can be sure to turn on notifications for specific players to be instantly alerted when they score a goal or when they're involved in other breaking news. It's the best and easiest way to stay up to date with everything football. Click the link in the description down below to download the app right now. You won't regret it. Everything isn't perfect at Marseille, as is the case with Milik and the overall offensive shape of the team, but they occupy a very encouraging third place in Ligue 1 at the moment. There is reason to not see the future with optimism, especially given the team's room for improvement. The team is progressing well, and perhaps they'll make some moves in the transfer window and sign some new players who could strengthen the Marseille workforce this winter. Jorge Sampaoli is clearly looking for experienced players, but when he talks about experienced players, the Argentine isn't referring to age. He wants players who have an understanding of the game of possession. His needs are immediate to lead the club in the Champions League next season. In the middle of January, he would not have time to train a player who hasn't integrated into his philosophy. I am talking about players who know the game of possession, our idea of the game here. We want to evolve in that style, says Sampaoli. The experienced tactician, however, is happy to let the club's senior figures, such as Longoria, deal with these matters and provide him with players who know what they're doing. With the likes of Steve Mandanda and Alvaro Gonzalez touted for departures this winter, the Rhone Giants will have to reinforce their ranks. Hopefully the scouting department will be on top of the situation and will make the right calls when the time comes. For Ligue 1, this is the first big transfer of the winter. As we've indicated to you in recent days, Jonathan Ikone is leaving LOSC Lille to go to Fiorentina. The 23-year-old winger passed his medical successfully, allowing him to sign a 5-year contract with La Viola. For his first experience abroad, Jonathan Ikone will experience a new environment, which will perhaps allow him to find a place in the France team. The Frenchman hasn't featured for Les Bleus since October 2020. With 4 goals and 5 assists in 37 Ligue 1 matches last season, Ikone greatly contributed to Lille's league triumph. But after 3.5 years in the north, it was undoubtedly time to take off, to move up a gear. Lille will, for their part, receive a decent cheque of 14 million euros, and the amount will also be shared with PSG. Niko Kovac is no longer the coach of AS Monaco. Even if the information is not yet official, the Croatian was dismissed from his post on Thursday evening. This is one of the big surprises of this winter in Ligue 1. L'Équipe and RMC are certain after the rumours, which already started to flourish in the last few days. Niko Kovac was informed about the end of his adventure at AS Monaco on Thursday evening by the club management. According to media outlets, the methods of the 50-year-old Croatian tactician were getting more and more unbearable for the management. His management of Wissam Ben Yedder, who is the captain, often seen on the bench or replaced too frequently during games, particularly raised questions. The overall management of the workforce had also become difficult to see, according to his superiors. Also, the results this season were also just not that good. However, after 19 games, the Monegasque Giants are 6th just 4 points from the podium. Qualification for the Champions League at the end of the season is a distinct possibility, but defeats against direct competitors largely contributed to instilling doubt around Kovac's credentials. While his decision to not extend his sojourn at Camp Nou ruined everyone's mood in Barcelona, Ousmane Dembele's decision has caught the eye of many European sides, with many already working on enticing the player into signing for them. While everything seemed complete between Barcelona and Ousmane Dembele for a contract extension, the December 29th meeting turned everything upside down and caused a tsunami in Catalonia. While Barca have never ceased to proclaim their lack of money and the need to lower the payroll, the arrival of Ferran Torres for €55 million, the possible arrival of Alvaro Morata, and the insane proposal that they're preparing to attract Erling Haaland has really made the Dembele clan tick. The 24-year-old was claiming a salary of €40 million gross annually, as well as a signing bonus of €40 million to agree to extend in Catalonia. A requirement that was obviously never going to be fulfilled by Joan Laporta, whose team is now going to do without the World Cup winner after June 30th, the date when he becomes a free agent. It now remains to be seen where the future destination of the former Rennes man will be this winter or next summer, and the candidates likely to welcome Dembele are numerous. In addition to the traditional link leading to Bayern Munich in the event of the departure of Kingsley Coman, PSG are also on the lookout to compensate for a possible departure of Kylian Mbappe, who looks to be on his way to Real Madrid. As are Juventus, always fond of players at the end of their contract. There's also Premier League sides that are interested. Tottenham and Chelsea are both interested, and so are Manchester United. There is no doubt that the next few weeks will be decisive for Ousmane Dembele as he charts the next stage of his career. The first half of the season for Romelu Lukaku is difficult to analyse. After a start with great fanfare, the Belgian striker was handicapped by various concerns, including the dreaded virus and an injury, which prevented him from showing his true potential when he returned to Stamford Bridge. Finally back in shape, the former Inter man scored against Aston Villa during Boxing Day before doing it again against Brighton. Big Rom is a serious offensive weapon that will guarantee goals for Thomas Tuchel, and yet the striker doesn't seem that happy at Chelsea at the moment, especially because of the German coach. While speaking to Sky, Lukaku had a lot of things to say which mostly revolved around how he doesn't understand why his manager is not using him as much as he should have. Physically, I'm fine, even better than before. After 2 years in Italy, during which I worked a lot at Inter with coaches and nutritionists, I'm doing well physically, he said in an interview with Sky Italia. But I'm not happy with the situation. It's normal. I think the coach chose to play with another system. I just have to not give up and keep working and being a professional. I am not satisfied with the situation, but I am a professional and I will not give up, added the Belgian, not at ease with the German coach's system. Then, he mostly dredged Inter, where he hopes to return soon. And it is here where things do not make sense. Lukaku says that he misses Italy and he would love to return to Inter Milan, and not at an age where his legs are giving up on him. The former United man actually wants to return to Serie A when he's at the peak of his powers. Of course, those statements were going to be dissected by the English media, and naturally Thomas Tuchel was forced into a corner, where the German tactician had to come up with a response as well. It was an uncomfortable situation, but Tuchel was very clear about it. The German tactician said that he did not approve the statements, since these things do have a way of impacting the club. The former PSG manager has said that he will be speaking with the striker in private, but if we look at the thing from a distance, it's clear that the Blues are experiencing quite a lot of turbulence. The last few weeks have been testing. Chelsea are no longer playing like a team that can win the league title. Results haven't been great, and even when they are winning, the performances aren't always the best. More than that, they've had to deal with players in isolation and then a few players who are out injured. Lukaku's statements could not have come at a worse time for the Londoners, and this is why we're a little shocked. But then again, Lukaku has this thing about him where he ends up putting things out there for everyone to read, and his statements do sound like someone airing their dirty laundry, even though frustrations can be dealt with in a different manner.